All right, here we go with another one.
European
Call hello, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Dash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, Great Millstone, or rule well. I am not a member of Great Millstone, however, I've entered into their labors. Peace and blessings to sincere brothers and sisters, students, wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. Posting another one. I actually reposted this to my TikTok, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and just add a couple scriptures here because I don't post on TikTok, so I don't have enough time to add things. I think you have to be an avid user. So. Man, this is the gospel going out into the four corners of the earth, right? And I want to know, with Christianity at its old age, it has been around since for the longest time, nothing has gone on. People have been left in a drunken stupor, what you can actually attribute it to being a part of the great falling away, because the brother posts this later on. He posts that, an ox knoweth his owner, and an ass his master's crib. So you'll see that a little bit later on. But before we start, as you can see, this is the gospel going out. Now they are forced to tell the truth. They can't even keep it in. None of this would have come out. And this just goes to show you that, Christianity, which we already knew, but just let's pour salt on the wound, that Christianity is just, for lack of a better term, it's dog shit. It's garbage. And by design, it was meant to keep you in a drunken stupor. Actually, I think I want to go to Isaiah 11. Let me read this really quickly. See. Revelation 7 at the top. And after these things, I saw four angels standing in the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any trees. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to the four angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea. Hurt not the earth, and neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads, right? So here is what is on its way. And the elect will be sealed through the preaching of the truth, the 100% truth that was given to the men of the Great Millstone and their elders and those who preach the like doctrine. And the proof is in the pudding, as you can see how things have just escalated ever since, the truth is going out. And there are some people who take it and run with it for their own selfish gain, but, there will be a reward for that. And there are those who operate in pride and want to make merchandise of the gospel. You will have your reward for that, lest you repent, but you will get dealt with. All right, verse 3, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea. All right, verse 4 is where we're at. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed 144,000 in all the tribes of the children of Israel. All right, and it goes into the tribe of Judah, all of the 12 tribes, right? And this is important to see because because you talked about that mixed multitude, even though there are those that may not look like Israelites, we were scattered across the four corners of the earth to include the land by the name of Arsareth, which was what the northern kingdom went over to after the split of Solomon. And we want to go to Isaiah. I was just in Isaiah. I should have hit that first. Isaiah, straight to the point in verse 12. Wait. 11, it shall come to pass in that day the Lord shall set the hands again at the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Parthos, Cush, and Elam. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's see. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations that shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather the dispersed. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's what we're getting, because I mentioned about the four corners, right? Gather dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth, right? And we understand that it is Judah and Israel are together, Yasharallah, because Judah and Israel are pressed together, and you can find that in Jeremiah 50 around the 33rd verse. And they were oppressed together right here in Babylon the Great.
European Christians mined Jewish history to explain the origins of the Americas and its indigenous peoples. This attention to Judaism was in fact more than just sermonic. Christians used the history, culture, and language of the Jews to interpret their American encounters. They searched the Bible for clues to the origins of Native Americans, to determine the potential of indigenous people for Christian salvation, and to weigh the lives and deaths of Aborigines. Jewish history provided the scaffolding from which Christians crafted new understandings of the relationships to people in the Americas and Africa. The century-long descent of the Indian in the English mind, for instance, from lost Jews destined for Christianization and assimilation to a savage and inferior race fated for extinction, was one branch of a body of social ideas that transformed the intellectual and institutional cultures of Europe and the Americas. Those ideas had histories. Christians believed Indians to be a lost tribe of Jews.
Ever since European colonists began settling in the land that would later become the United States of America, many artifacts have been discovered which suggest the ancient Native American mound builder civilizations are descendants of Hebrew people who migrated to ancient North America during the 500s BC, which is approximately the earliest estimated dates of the Hopewell mound builders.
All right, and let me pause that. Along with discovering, actually, did this brother already post it? No, he didn't. Let's see. Due to this, it's hard for the indigenous to accept. Okay, so let's get damn. I believe it's in the same one. Let me see. In the land of their captivity. Here we go. So we're gonna get Baruch real quick. Baruch 2. We can actually read verse 5 as well. Moreover, he hath delivered them into the subjection of all kingdoms that are round about us, to be a reproach and a desolation among the people round about, where the Lord hath scattered them. That's verse 4. Verse 5, thus we were cast down and not exalted, but we have sinned against the Lord and our God, and have not been obedient unto his voice. This is what landed us where we were, to forget who we were, to forget who we are. Salakia. So, and according to prophecy, we will be known by bywords and proverbs, right? So Indian, native, Negro, nigger, spick, Mexican, Guatemalan, and it's all named after this Edomite who, quote unquote, discovered these lands and then in some way, shape, or form had a hand in naming them or directly naming them themselves. To the Lord our power appertaineth righteousness, but unto us and to our fathers open shame, as appeareth to this day. So, what's a part of this awakening is not only the man of sin being revealed, and you can get that in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, probably throughout that entire chapter, but the point is going to be around about the third verse. So you read that, and a part of this man of sin being revealed are his lies coming up, his lies about who we were, because according to what Psalms 83, you have nations that were confederate against us, and we were cut off from being a nation. However, let's go down a little bit more, because just a little bit farther down in Baruch, it's really in 30. No. Yes, it is verse 30. Okay, but I'm going to start at 28. As thou spakest by thy servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write thy law before the children of Israel, saying, if ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations, where I will scatter them. You see the scattering because of disobedience. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities, plural, they shall remember themselves. Right? So let's go ahead and continue on with this. I actually probably won't let the whole thing play because I think it's a good 5 minutes, but I just wanted to grab this and just show brothers and sisters, whoever may be looking, that they are forced to come out with this truth. Christianity would have had us still in a drunken stupor. This is the truth, 100% truth, with the mark of the beast being the RFID microchip that you're going to be forced to take, the nuclear destruction that is on its way to Babylon the Great. That is what the that is what the lake of fire is. All of that. All of these things, because the truth is stranger than fiction, and it's all to keep you from knowing who you were. Because just like in the story with Balaam and Balak, he could not curse the children of Israel unless they went off. Thus, what the new covenant and salvation is about is having the law, statutes, and commandments being put in your inward parts. Because remember, we got scattered for disobedience. So if these law, statutes, and commandments are put in your inward parts, according to, I believe, Hebrews 8 and Hebrews 11, then you can't go off. You no longer lose the land. You no longer get scattered to any of these other nations. And the kingdom that is going to be established under Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai and King David will be an everlasting kingdom. And that is also written. You can look that up as well.
In Florida, Tennessee, and Iowa,
Catholic missionaries in the Spanish colonies, like their Protestant peers, felt compelled to address the lineage of Indians, which had consequences for Christians' relationships with Native America. Early Spanish invaders looked for resemblances between Indian cultures and Judaism.
Right, pause that, okay? Get that book, take a screenshot, remember it. Go to abesbooks.com, you'll probably get it for cheap.
And commonalities between indigenous languages and Hebrew. As we know, Christopher Columbus brought Louis de Torres, a converso, with him as Hebrew interpreter to the people who he might meet on the other side of the world.
Yeah, so why did that rapist and that pedophile need a Hebrew interpreter? Because they knew. They always knew. And since we're on the subject of Arsares, let's go to 2nd Esdras, where we can find it. 2nd Esdras 13. 2 Esdras 13. And that's that 1.5 year journey. Well, 1.5 years there, 1.5 years back. Where we at? And this, my son, shall rebuke the wicked invention of those nations for their wicked life and their... All right. Okay, so this is the vision he's seeing. Esdras is seeing. So read through this on your own, but I really just want to go to the point, which may be in 45. 41, because it pertains to what he's talking about. So, and I'm just going to get the key scriptures, but do read this on your own. So 41, because it don't, and I'm going to jump around a little bit again because it pertains to what he was saying in the video. So, but they took this counsel amongst themselves that let me start at 40. I'm sorry. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, who Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive, right? Because the northern kingdom went to the Assyrian, and that is when you will go to the Blue Letter Bible, that's an Assyrian script that they added the vowel points to. Because you have 2 different scripts because they were 2 different captivities. The southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, stayed on the east, while the other 10 tribes, they stayed, didn't stay, they were carried over to the west, and they ended up here in the Americas, or what is now called the Americas. All right, so finish reading. He carried them over the water, so it came they into another land, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would lead the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country which never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river, for the Most High showed them the signs of them that held still the flood till they were passed over. For through, verse 45, this is where we want it, for through the country there was a great way to go, namely of 1.5 years, and the same region is also called Arsareth. And you can probably read either in 1st or 2nd Kings about Solomon. He had his men take a journey 1.5 years there and 1.5 years back to bring back, it was either timber or something that it had to do. But, you know, you do your due diligence and you go find that.
By the 1560s, Spanish clerics were debating whether Indians were descendants of one of the lost tribes of Israel, or if perceived similarities to the Jews were products of the...
Now, Jew is short for Judah. There are other tribes, right? And how we read in the beginning in Revelation the 7th chapter, where it was 12,000 from this tribe, 12,000 from that tribe. So Jew was usually a sum total of the three southern kingdom tribes, which was Benjamin, Judah, and Levi, because of course, even to this day, Edomites or so-called white folks will make the insensitive and a racist joke that all niggas look alike kind of thing. They play on that stereotype. They, even to this day, they do it, right? So you will differentiate the northern kingdom by, and when you read the scriptures, as the kingdom of Israel, and the southern kingdom would be the kingdom of Judah. Ephraim, so-called Puerto Rican, being the head tribe of the northern kingdom, and Judah being the head tribe of the southern kingdom, which our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai hailed from, because he is the seed and the offspring of David.
Satanic manipulation.
And if you can receive it, Solomon, and then he comes back as Yahweh Shai.
Intended to render them useless to the Christian God. Protestant colonialism brought equal enthusiasm for discovering the Jewish origins of Indians. In his mid-17th century description of New Netherland, the Dutch lawyer Adrian van der Donck admitted that the theological pressure. If Christians were unable to reconcile the existence of Native Americans with biblical narrative, then, quote, the doctrines of the Holy Scriptures would be subverted and ruined. Several years earlier, Domine Johannes Megapolensis, in 1642, Megapolensis encountered an elderly Indian woman who was likely Mohawk, and who repeated part of the Iroquois creation story, which included, in fact, the story of a divine feud between two brothers. Domine Megapolensis took this as a...
Those are the main characters. Esau and Jacob. Jacob and Esau are the main characters. And I did in my last video I put in the description box the scriptures that is linking Esau, Edom to being the last ruler of this earth. And then the very next thing is Yahweh Shai, or the kingdom of the true kingdom, the rightful kingdom being established in the earth. So again, you can pull this up. I will save it and put it in the description box, and that way you can go straight to TikTok and look it up on your own. But I want to get 2 scriptures and then we'll call it, because I just wanted something real quick, just a quick hit. First, we will go to, since we already here, Revelation 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword. Remember Genesis 24, I believe it is, or possibly 27. You go look it up, where it says Esau, Edom, by the sword shalt thou live, right? That was his blessing and the fatness of the earth. Okay, so he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And the saints are all Israelites, whether they be looking like the other nation or not. If this word resonates with you, then you may be possibly of the elect, but you are definitely an Israelite if this word resonates with you. And we will go, we'll go to another one. So fitting, because remember, this devil took this Bible into his hands, right? He adopted, or seemingly wanted to adopt, the law, statutes, and commandments, and that is why you're going to be held responsible to them. If there's any confusion as to the laws and statutes and commandments being pertaining to only the Israelites. So why does it say Esau, Edom will be punished for their sins? Because he took that covenant into his mouth on his own, therefore condemning himself. So you are always in a trick bag. So, quote, roughly paraphrase, the pride of your heart, the pride of thine heart has deceived thee. All right, so Exodus 21, verse 16, because here's what you got coming. He that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Point blank, period, end of story. Your rule, your reign is coming to an end. Your stronghold, your vibration coming to an end. It's unraveling. So with that being said, I pray that you are edified. Stay prayed up. Shalom.